Hey guys, we wanted to give a shout out to some of the people we have met while recording the Nashville Dads podcast. On this episode, we wanted to highlight Brandon with Nashville Restaurant Radio. If you're interested in the Nashville food scene, this is the podcast for you. Brandon has some of the most influential people in the Nashville restaurant community on his show. So check it out. Follow them on Instagram at Nashville Restaurant Radio. Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. This week we have on Daniel Ezelle of Rabbit Food Kitchen. Daniel's pretty ridiculous, and we talked about his food trailer, we made ourselves laugh, and we jumped from discussing religion to being medicated and working too much. This was a lot of fun, and we hope you enjoy. Thank you for being on the episode. Daniel.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to sound like I know what I'm doing since it's just me.
I've actually heard that you've gone solo multiple times.
Oh, wow. Was it like 2 minutes ago when I told you?
No, I actually listened to every episode
Did you
of your
really?
podcast. I've listened to like two, but you know.
Okay, we've done more than two. I don't know how to break that.
I know.
To
I had to listen to the homies.
Yeah, I like that you listen to what Afton and Sean's, right?
Yeah.
They're really fun.
My food guys.
Afton is hilarious because I feel like he just sends us memes now constantly on Instagram. Does he do? Is it just us? Are we special?
I think that you and I might receive some of the same ones, and I send him some ridiculous stuff too. I think that like the problem is that I work hours that normal people don't work.
Yeah.
So since I'm not working traditional hours, you know, I'll be like on my phone on Instagram, you know, working on my content.
And you have to do content research.
Yeah, exactly.
By looking up
by
everyone
doom
else's
scrolling guys opening beers with their mullet and stuff like that.
That's a thing?
Yeah, I'll have to show you the clip here in a bit.
I love how many things anymore. You can just say any phrase and be like, yeah, I was on the internet. And it's just immediately like, yeah, sure. No, it's on there somewhere. There's probably a subreddit for mullet beer opening.
I wish that I was cool enough to get into subreddits and everything because like I'm the nerd that searches things online and then it ends up the only answer is in a subreddit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's why I finally got on Reddit because I was like, I'm so tired of just searching. Like, I listen to a lot of books. I read a lot of books. And I'll be like,
that's one of us.
Yes. I'll be like, I wonder what someone else's take on the end of this book was. And I'll just do like review synopsis for book and it'll be like 5 subreddits. And I'm like, no, I just want like, did someone actually write something about this? It's a Stephen King book. It's not that rare of a book. Like,
yeah, but isn't Reddit just like 99% males?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm assuming yes.
Yeah. That's why we're talking about it on a dad podcast. Cause I feel like with my wife and she's going to get on to me probably cause she's like, listen, I'm all about like female empowerment and everything like that. Yeah. But I do think that there are certain things that females enjoy more than males and males enjoy more than females. And so like the fact that Reddit is just like, you know, Twitter, and like reactions underneath that and like all these like subreddits and everything like that. And it's just like writing and not pretty. And it's just like extremely organized. Yeah. I feel like for my wife, she probably would like research what somebody else thought the ending of a book was like on like Pinterest or something, you know, like, and then they would probably have like a mood board about it.
Yeah.
You know,
my wife uses Reddit for, she does Orange Theory Fitness.
Oh, nice.
And people in Australia, since it's like 13 hours ahead, will post what their workout was. And it normally like then trickles down. Yeah. So she can predict like, all right, here's probably what like type of workout I'm going to do today. Because they usually don't tell you until you arrive.
Is that why it's called the Orange Theory?
No, it's not. I think
it's the trickle down from Australia.
No, it's because of, man, I almost made an Agent Orange reference, but I didn't know if Vietnam War jokes were appropriate for this podcast or not.
See, now my wife is the one that warned me to not say anything inappropriate on this.
Okay.
And
what's
so I'm
your
like,
definition of inappropriate? That's another discussion.
I think she just said like, don't say something that you're going to regret. And it's like,
oh, that's vague. That could be, that can cover a lot of ground.
It can be a lot.
Yeah.
And I am somebody that says controversial things just because I want to like put it out there into the ether and see what happens, you know? Like in a lot of my joking style is that. Yeah. So, you know, like today I had somebody that had asked if we were going to hang out or whatever, and we had like talked about it in the past.
Yeah.
But I was like, I have this podcast that I'm doing, and they were like, for one, like, what do you have to talk about?
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah. And two, what's this podcast?
Yeah.
And so I just sent him a meme that was the alien guy from like, what's that network where they always do the History Television, I think, and the guy that has crazy hair, and he's like, I'm not saying that it's aliens, but it was definitely aliens, you know?
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, man, I'm just here for the conspiracy theories.
I'm just here to discuss what might else be in the universe with us.
Yeah. And my, one of my best friends, whenever I told him that, like, yeah, man, these conspiracy theories are really, like, interesting me. And they were like, dude, you've got to cool it. I'm like, yeah, no, like, I don't buy into any of them. It's just like, how do people come up with this stuff?
I'm genuinely, I'm fascinated with how people process the world.
Yeah.
And conspiracy theories. There's like I am very, like, since I studied audio engineering stuff, it's a lot of signal flow. So, like, starts here, ends up here. What's the path it takes to get there? I kind of overanalyze the path it takes to get there sometimes. So, like, yeah, it's like, okay, cool. You started here. What's a conspiracy theory? Some massive event happened, and how your brain coped with it was you came up with this reasoning. Tell me more. Like, so, like,
I love that.
If you like, if someone like, my wife will be like, why do you talk to everyone? And I'm like, cause I'm fascinated. People think different than me. And that's a really good thing for me to be aware of for multiple reasons. So like, yeah, if right now you're like, yeah, I think lizard people are real. I'd be like, yeah, man, you feel confident about this decision.
Let's talk about it.
This is how did you arrive from, I seem like a normal human being, kind of, and then ended with lizard people.
Yeah. And like, are they warm-blooded?
I don't know. And how do they survive? Are they like, is it a lizard wearing human skin?
I'm just like, what were the bad guys in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Oh, like, you mean Ramshack and, no, wait, that's the Bible.
Yeah, I was like, Abednego.
Abednego. Who was it? Oh, it was something. Now I have to Google this.
Well, you've got Shredder, right?
But who were the two Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle villains?
But I just remember in the video games and the show, them having like, were they like alligators that
Bebop
stood?
and Rocksteady. Those were the two I was thinking of.
Okay.
That's like the ones from Secret of the Ooze, you know.
Oh. So they, basically Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They're in the
Bebop and
Rocksteady.
So
yeah, I'm gonna watch I've been watching VeggieTales apparently with the kids. Who knows?
I mean, I feel like Bebop and Rocksteady sound like VeggieTale appropriate.
They do seem like VeggieTale appropriate. I'm sure that Larry the Cucumber has a silly song about them somewhere. So he was a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. You know?
Oh yeah,
everyone knows that.
Dude, what a crossover!
I'd be here for it.
Yeah, talk about like all the ingredients that go on pizza, like vegetables.
How do you feel about the fact that cucumbers and tomatoes are both fruit, but they host a show called VeggieTales? Yeah. Let's talk about this conspiracy theory.
I was talking to, I forgot what I was talking about as far as like vegetables, fruits.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly not a stickler about it, but I think that just like whenever somebody thinks that they're an authority on something and I'm like, you're wrong, and here's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that that's hopefully one of the least detrimental shows to our children's minds. Because like I know that my kid's learning from Coco Melon and totally obsessed with like music.
Yeah.
But also whenever they are stuck to the screen that way, and just like eyes glazed over the way that like I look at my wife, then it's like, dude, you're not ready for this.
No. My favorite moment is like if one of so I have a 7-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. The 7 and 5-year-old, you can reason with them a little bit better, or be like, hey, once the credits hit, it goes off. We don't watch anymore. The 2-year-old will like pick up the phone and somehow like pull up like the camera and be like looking in his face and be like, hey Josh, I need like, give me the phone. Like take this away. And then he just screams. I'm like, why are you like, you didn't even know this thing existed 30 seconds ago. And now you're screaming like I literally took away your ability to breathe.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah. What's up with that?
We're going
to. Yeah. So I will say, though, that I am an advocate for screen time.
Oh, okay.
And here's one reason why.
Hit me with it.
So, like, my mom is really into anecdotal evidence.
Okay.
So Mom, I love you if you listen to this. My mom's big into anecdotal evidence, but she's also like super smart and like knows like real facts and stuff too. But she'll be like, "Oh yeah, my best friend did this," and so like that's fact, right? You know. So here's my anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, man, hit me with it.
Of why screen time is so good.
Okay.
So I've got some family that they just like put their kids in front of the TV all the time.
Sure.
And they have like a 2 or 3 year age difference. And those 2 little girls are so smart. And like they are hilarious too. Yeah. It's like things like I don't think that they would have necessarily picked up on from like just their parents or teachers or whatever. I think TV taught it to them.
Okay.
And, you know, like they might end up being TikTok celebrities, you know, one day.
If you want to make the sale for more TV time, the aspiration of a TikTok influencer, which by the way, most of them.
Did you see like where I started?
Yeah,
and
man.
Where it ended
I saw the path. It was good. Like, how do you're trying to figure out how to turn your son into a TikTok influencer, and the episode's over. We'll see you later. Okay.
I think getting him to do the truffle shuffle from the Goonies.
Yeah, man.
But he's not chubby anymore.
Oh, he's not.
He's at the point where he's 2. He thinned out, like grew a lot. So like he was in these clothes that fit him now.
Okay.
Back like months ago because he was a chubster.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like baggy on him.
Yeah.
But now it just like fits him right. And he looks like a little boy now.
I just got the image of you keeping your son locked outside of your house and screaming at him, do the truffle shuffle, or else you won't open up the door. And just walking by your house and being like, all right, Daniel. All right.
That's for his friends whenever he gets older.
Because that's when you do the truffle shuffle.
Yeah.
Is you're not allowed to come into the house. So you have to do the truffle shuffle.
Just so I don't get canceled, I'll teach him to do it.
Oh, okay.
You know, and so Porter's going to be over here like, do the truffle shuffle.
But to be fair, the truffle shuffle is just lifting your shirt up and jiggling, basically.
Yeah,
right?
But supposedly it damaged that kid's life.
Wait, I think
the
maybe
real one.
The role damaged his life for being chased around, being screamed at, do the truffle shuffle. Is what I would assume.
Yeah.
Did it just push his organs against each other too hard?
Supposedly he had chicken pox when that was going on also.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a wealth of knowledge with this.
Okay, so conspiracy theories and the Goonies is what we're here for.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so he was worried that he wasn't going to be able to film it if they knew that he had chicken pox, so he didn't tell anybody. But like whenever he did that lifting the shirt, it's like you're going to see.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so like I haven't gone back to look at it, but now I'm going to get everybody to look at that clip. And see, you know, like zoom in and see if you see some chicken pox on the truffle shuffle.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to find the video clip of that. I don't actually, if you told me like what streaming service the Goonies is on, I actually wouldn't know.
I YouTubed it the other day because I had all the bartenders do the truffle shuffle at Monday night, but none of us actually.
Which bartenders? Which bar?
Monday Night Brewing.
Okay.
Yeah. I just said brewing weird.
No, that's okay.
Brewing?
It's okay. Listen, you have to get used to it.
I think that was like in between a burp and a brew.
Just know that like in general, people talk weird. And that's whenever you do podcasts, that's what you learn is pretty much everyone just says words and you're like, yeah, that was a way to say that word.
Yeah.
Technically, that was the word brewing. Yeah, no, you're right. I jumped there with you.
But I went through and asked them all, like when I was set up at Monday Night Brewing, Preservation Company in Nashville, not the Atlanta one.
Okay, good.
So I asked them all, I was like, hey, I've got these truffle Parmesan stamped potatoes.
Ooh, yeah.
And I want to do like promo for them. Can we do the truffle shuffle? Like just give me like a little shuffle, you know, a little dance. Yeah. And we'll just call it the truffle shuffle. And I was like, but I'll do the real one, you know. So we had a lot of participants. One person was diabetic and was like, I can't eat a potato right now. And I was like, I hear you. I feel for you. And like with Afton, he has a kid that's diabetic, but Afton's philosophy is like juice the kid up on the meds, so they can have the potato. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to question this though, because I don't want to get canceled. So you don't have to do the truffle shuffle. Everybody else can eat these delicious truffle Parmesan stamped potatoes.
And you can watch.
Yeah. And then you can watch. That sounds so creepy.
It should. That was the point. Yeah. There's no.
Yeah. I've been talking about how I'm decent at dadding.
Okay.
Lately, you know, it's the act of being a dad. Yeah. It's just like, I got to go practice some dadding.
Are you the type of person who refers to watching your kid as babysitting your kid?
Oh, probably.
Do you know those type of people? Do you know?
Yeah. Have you heard someone say that? I do. I'm like, I gotta watch the kid. I mean, like, I'm definitely. Have you ever watched Nate Bargatze?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so our old Hickory stand-up comedian that was just on SNL.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
that guy.
Casual.
And what he did Bridgestone also, right?
Yeah, no. He tours now, he does stadiums.
Wow.
Yeah,
dude. Props, Nate.
Good for him.
Let's meet. But yeah, I'm very much so like a Nate Bargatze dad in that it's like if a teacher called me and they were like, hey, what bus number is Porter on? I'd be like, I'm the dad, right? Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I thought you had him.
Yeah, call Heather.
Oh, your wife is named Heather?
Yeah, call the mom.
I also married a Heather.
Oh, this is weird, man.
This is weird. Whenever I had a friend who the same year as me got married a Heather, and I was like, well, that's Heather too. Yeah. Clearly, I'm the frame of reference for all Heathers. Yeah, so they got divorced, so she can still be Heather too, so that's fine.
Heather, comma, Too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, the return. Ooh. She could come back, and it'd be the return of Heather.
Return of Heather.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll have to talk to my friend how he would feel
Heather
about that.
Heather 2, the return of Heather. Yeah.
Man, do you feel like other dads are filled with nonsense also?
I think that's all that a dad is.
I think the most entertaining dads are just constant nonsense.
I think it's a lot of nonsense, like, like me saying I'm a Nate Bargatze dad. I mean also that like I am fortunate enough that my wife does majority of the parenting and I get to be fun dad, which is fantastic. But also like I feel super guilty about a lot of it. Like I do some dadding, some parenting. But like, man, she's out here. You said you read a lot of books and everything. She's delving into all kinds of stuff about childhood development and yada yada. And I'm over here like, I think I had a pretty good upbringing.
Oh, you're Sling Blade now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mustard and biscuits.
Mustard and biscuits. Real good. Taters.
Yeah.
This is some good, obscure early 90s references.
That's what I'm here for. You and I graduated college at the same time, so I think that there's going to be some crossover. Yeah.
Where'd you go to college at?
University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Are you like a Vols fan? Do you care about the Vols?
So here's the thing. I need to be careful about how I describe this.
No, it's
because some people, might take it wrong. But my mom brought me up to be orange-blooded. Okay.
Texas.
And you take that back. Yeah, no, I do enjoy watching some Tennessee sports. Whenever they call me for donations, I tell them that I have a food trailer. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Also, you can donate some food. That's great.
Exactly. I'm like, do you want me to pull the trailer up somewhere on the University of Tennessee campus? Because that could happen.
That's about it. That's how I feel with Belmont. I don't feel like Belmont's called me for money yet, but like the first couple of years afterwards, I'm like, guys, it's literally like 2010, 2011. It's like we just had a massive financial crisis. I barely make $30,000 a year. Yeah. Why are you calling me right now?
Well, University of Tennessee, like Kane is the mayor of Knoxville. Kane from wrestling.
I did not know this.
WWE, WWF, or whatever. Yeah.
The Undertaker's brother.
Was Kane the Undertaker's brother?
I feel like
they looked similar. Yeah. No, Cain and Abel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one who lived?
It's the Bible story in
The biblical story of Kane v. Undertaker.
In WWE
yeah,
Raw.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
yeah. Genesis 5.
Yeah, so that's the like fairyland that I come from.
Okay.
Is, you know, like, let's make our wrestlers mayor, and then gas station kingpins, which, like, God bless the Haslams. But, like, you know, our biggest donors at the University of Tennessee. And yeah, I mean, like, I really like watching college sports. I don't know how I feel about the NIL and everything. Like, I think that it's like, I've always thought that these college kids go through too much for these sports.
Yeah.
And especially the fact that they might get injured and then, you know, like, not be able to continue as a career in that sport. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm not into, like, all the pressure that goes into sports nowadays. I used to be an avid fan, but I still enjoy watching, like, football, basketball, baseball when they're good. I'm just like a fair weather fan, really.
Gotcha.
But we lived in San Francisco for 5 years, and
cool.
So I'd kind of taken a hiatus of, like, watching any sports.
Yeah.
But when we got out to San Francisco, it was a way to reconnect with people, and so we found, like, the UT alumni club that, like, met at a bar, and, you know, they put a like, Tennessee flag out for, like, football games and whatnot. Cool. And so that was a lot of fun. And I get rowdy and wear like a coonskin cap and stuff like that. So I love to sing my lungs out to Rocky Top.
Yeah.
So
I'm from Indiana, so, like, I'm one of 3 kids. I'm the one who didn't go to Indiana University.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever IU plays basketball, never football, like, the family group thread is just, like, exploding the entire time. So, like, it's like, why do I follow sports? It kind of connects to some version of, like, family and, like, heritage and all that. So,
but you are a Hoosier fan?
I'm a Hoosier fan, yeah.
Dude, that's great.
Not Purdue, not Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I'm also, I don't know, my dad raised me to hate Notre Dame for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, like, we like Rudy the movie.
Does he hate Catholics?
You know, here's the thing. We are Protestant. We are Protestant.
Are you Lutheran?
I've been to the Vatican 3 times, though.
Okay.
So, you know, like, I've also been to Ash Wednesday a lot.
How do you feel about, like, Martin Luther and the Protestant movement?
I actually was really big on Martin Luther.
Yeah.
That guy's, I need to, like, watch language here. I was going to say he's BA. He PO'd some people.
I think
he's a real BA guy.
The most fascinating thing is he didn't mean to. Like, he was just like, hey, guys, this is all wrong. Like, you guys are doing this stuff wrong. And he didn't do, like, some dramatic, like, nailing of it to the door or anything like that.
But he did nail it to the door, right?
That's Lord.
Oh, wow.
He posted it on, like, he was like, it was like a Sunday message board.
Oh.
Of, like, hey, by the way, here's some things that aren't really accurate to the Bible.
Just used a thumb pin on the cork board.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, he did. And then people were like, what the hell is this guy saying? He was like, oh, I read the Bible. And all this stuff isn't what that you said it was true.
Excuse me, you're messing with a system that we've got going on here.
Excuse me, these indulgences we're selling. How do you think we paid for this cathedral? So
yeah,
I'm fascinated by Martin Luther. Actually, here's one other just humorous Martin Luther thing, is that whenever he would do confessions, he was such a all-in person that he would be like his confessions would be like hours long because he'd be like, "Well, you told me I'd go to hell if I didn't confess." So, like, I've got to confess everything. So then he'd start confessing about his ego about confessing. And, like, the person there would just be like, please stop. Yeah. Martin, just go do something else. Just leave. Just
They'd be like, dear Lord. And he's like, yes, dear Lord.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. Dude, my dad would be able to, like, teach a course on this probably.
Were you raised Lutheran?
No. So, I was raised Church of Christ.
Okay.
And my parents are, I mean, I guess they'd still say that they're Church of Christ denomination, but, like, not tied to it necessarily.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But they're like gospel believers basically. Okay. Like, and then in college I started going to a non-denominational church. But yeah, I mean, like, my wife and I just believe that Christ came to save everybody, and that grace can cover all, and you know, like, a Christian is a broken person and needs Christ to save us. And, you know, like, that's the easiest religion for me, you know. Like, I definitely fail at all religions. So I was like, oh, this one will take me. I'm in.
Yeah. I'm a really big fan of Richard Rohr, who's like a Franciscan monk. St. Francis is a fascinating character.
There you go. I lived in San Francisco.
Did you? Yeah, named after him. But he has a saying that's like, religion is for people who are scared of hell, and spirituality is for people who have been through hell. And I feel like that difference always sticks in my head of people who I feel like are super religious and very rulesy and orderly. It's like, oh, they're probably scared of something, and that motivates them to act this way. And the people I feel like are very more like spiritual, for whatever that word means to you, it's like, oh, they've probably seen some shit. Yeah, is usually what it means.
Yeah, I mean, like I came from a family where my upbringing was really great, and it was just like a family of 4, me and my brother, and my parents are still together. Not a whole lot of drama.
Yeah.
And then my wife's family was a blended family, and had like a wider age range of kids, 5 kids, and both of those parents had just like been through a lot. The kids all had gone through a lot, and like seeing their view on Christianity and their faith has really been informing for me.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, it's less about like rules, you know. It's more about like, hey, like what's the main point of this, and like let's be out here doing good deeds and loving on others, and giving more grace. You know?
Which is something. I feel like my ability to give grace is normally a good metric of how in tune with how I feel, how my inner monologue is, like how nice am I being to myself, basically. Did you offer that person any grace? No. How do you feel about yourself right now? Because that's usually, if you aren't willing to love yourself, you're not going to love anyone else, you know? If RuPaul has taught us anything.
Like speaking about that inner voice though, I actually, like, I'm glad that people are talking so much about like being medicated or like mental health and things along those lines. Because that's something that I had thought about looking into for a long time.
Yeah.
And like whenever I started this business with my wife in January of this year, so 2023.
Oh, I didn't know it was that new.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And I had been in outside sales for Cisco Foods prior to that. Okay. And like any sales job's pretty stressful because usually your compensation's based on your performance, you know? And then even if you're performing well, they kind of like want more from you.
There's never enough.
Know?
It's never satiated.
Yeah, exactly. And so like feeling like I was never enough is something that has been a part of my life for a long time. Not like because of my parents or whatever. I think that just putting like stress on myself, having like lofty goals, things along those lines. But like the sales definitely didn't help, definitely exacerbated it.
Yeah.
And then going into this job, which I do have to say that and this isn't a brag, and I'm not trying to make it a humble brag or anything like that, but like with saying all that about sales and how stressful it is, I was good at it.
Yeah.
And I think that like that inner voice and the anxiety actually kind of helped with that too.
Yeah.
Because it was like, hey, lighting a fire under your ass, like constantly, you know? But I ended up having some of the top growth globally last fiscal year. So 2022 fiscal year for Cisco. So like Heather and I went to Cabo and,
sweet.
And like on Cisco and did all this cool stuff, you know? So like, thank you Cisco for that.
Yeah.
And I going into being an owner of a business, it's also kind of stressful. And by kind of, I mean extremely.
Extremely?
So
I mean, you're about to have a second kid. What's your paternity leave at your company?
Yeah, whatever my wife tells me to do.
Basically, like, hey, can you go work a shift because we need to eat this week?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be more like, hey, you don't need to work, so that I can focus on her. She's by far the one that supports us.
Yeah.
And the trailer brings in money. But it's not what I used to make.
Yeah.
And so like that's another point to like where I'm going here is like just with all the stress, and like always having that inner voice and the anxiety that I didn't realize was like almost debilitating. I was like, maybe I should look into like medication. I was talking to like all these people, like friends and friends of friends, and then just like people I'd bump into and have like a really intentional conversation.
Yeah.
And then find out, oh, you're medicated.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's like, okay, cool. Like I guess I will look into this because like I had this like preconception about, you know, like, man, I don't need to like mess with my mind or whatever. But I ended up going to the doctor and actually getting prescribed like a small dosage of something. And it has, like, even though I'm still stressed in life, it has helped substantially. Sweet. And like, I just can't tell people enough. Like, I know that like therapy and counseling is something that's like probably like, you know, first step or, you know, just like talking to anybody. But also like, don't keep meds out of the question because it has changed my life so much. Sweet. And like, I think that my wife would say that I'm more enjoyable
Sweet.
as well. So that's something that's been a big part of this year.
Yeah, I think there's some part of yourself where you assume you should be able to deal with your anxiety yourself, and maybe those voices aren't actually as loud and as mean as you think you are. And then you either get on some meds or you talk to a therapist, and they're like, "Hey, actually, like, you don't have to, like, there's a better way to do this than what you consider to be normal." And I think one of the fascinating things about being a parent is you kind of get to help your child determine what normal is. And that is kind of terrifying and empowering all at the same time, because it is like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have that much self-doubt in yourself. That shouldn't be your normal, but it's my normal. So how do I communicate that to you correctly?
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think that that's why it's so great that I have a spouse or partner that is very different from me.
Yeah.
Like, her parenting techniques would be different than mine. But like, I've really followed her lead.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's more of the like gentle parenting kind of stuff. Whereas like like the Red Foreman from That 70s Show kind of deal. And my dad's always laughed at that too, which like my dad wasn't that harsh or whatever, but he was definitely like, you know, kind of strict and like had plenty of gentleness and like funny, like humor and everything. But, you know, like some of that like 1950s style hardcore dad. You know?
I mean, I feel like a Red Foreman quote or like reference is basically like, Eric, you have dumbass friends because you're a dumbass. And you're like, he's not wrong.
Which
there's a nicer way to say that, but he's not wrong.
Yeah. I think though that I'm going to have some of that when my kid's like a tween.
Yeah.
You know, but like when they're little, I'm going to try to like not be as harsh as I want to be a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, like whenever they're super little, like my 7-year-old, I don't think that like she understands whenever she's being super sarcastic or saying stuff where I'm like, what are you talking about? Whereas like whenever they're 13 or 14, yeah, I'm sorry, but you're being an idiot. Yeah. And like 7-year-old being stupid, like, sure, whatever, you're 7. It'll be fine. Whenever you're 14 or 15, a little different.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
We're going to have a real talk about this.
Well, it's because you think that, like, I'm not going to sit down with a 5-year-old and explain to them why their logic is bad. They aren't going to sit still long enough for me to explain it, and they don't care.
Yeah, my parents are definitely, like, trying to make my 2-year-old, like, Mozart right now. You know, they every time they come around, they have, like, these very structured things for him to do, you know? And, like, I think that's cool that, like, he's getting all these different inputs, right? Yeah. But my wife is like into Montessori learning.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, let him go play with that the way he wants to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm over here like, just like, hey, dude, you want to like make our own mosh pit while we watch like something on TV? So he's kind of rough.
Okay.
But he's a sweet little boy too.
What's your second kid gonna be? Do you know the gender yet?
Yeah, so she's gonna be a girl.
Nice.
And I'm really excited about that. For some reason, like I've always wanted to be a girl dad, and not like exclusively girl dad necessarily, but I like in the corporate world and also in the restaurant world and everything. I've worked with a lot of females and had a lot of female superiors. And just really enjoy like the emotional substance that you get with that, and like me being like, why you need to get a card or a gift for somebody, and they're like, I mean, like, they'll appreciate it. And it's like, yeah, they will. But like, I'm over here like, I don't like, let's just do work, and much, like, and they'd have like water cooler talk way more often than I thought you should, and it's like, but you're gaining all this social capital, which I had no idea what that was, and I'm just like, hey, we need to be making spreadsheets or like doing this, but I think it'll be pretty neat. And like, you pretty much always can tell a girl dad, like somebody that has a girl, it's like you've got a softer side to you because you had to.
Yeah, pretty much. It is funny. Like, so I have 2 girls and a son. And it is odd, the difference that I can already tell. Like with, I feel like there's some Instagram video of like how you wake up a girl versus how you wake up a boy. And it is like, like if I throw the girls on the bed, they're like, ha ha ha, or like kind of laugh about it. If I throw my 2-year-old on the bed, he's just like, rah, he's like losing his mind. Like, this is the best moment of my life. And I'm like, I did the exact same action. Just one was a girl, one was a boy. The boy is obsessed with it. The girls are like, man, take it or leave it.
Well, and we're fortunate enough that at Porter's Daycare, we have multiple friends, like a couple friends that have kids that are his same age.
Oh, okay.
And some of them we knew before putting them in, and then some of them we met through it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But they have girls.
Yeah.
And so, like, seeing these little girls by my rowdy boy and, like, how they interact, like, what's their reaction when they fall, or, like, if their hands are dirty, or, like, how do they sit down and eat versus how does he, like...
Does he sit down and eat? Because I feel like our kids, like, eat, like, everything's a walking taco meal, basically. Like,
so... Heather does a good job of having him sit down and eat.
Yeah.
And like he does with me too. But like we were at Boomba's the other night, and they have a playground with tables at the playground.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, are you supposed to be eating, or are you going to go play?
Yeah.
You
it's
know?
conflicting
And, yeah, exactly. And so like that was a tough one. But he does a pretty good job of like listening, like, hey, let's sit in your chair, like let's like stay stationary while you're eating.
Yeah. Is he food motivated?
Yes.
Okay.
So tremendously, actually. And he can remember certain snacks or whatever that I have with my car as opposed to like my wife's car.
Yeah.
And then also how much of a sucker I am compared to mom and how good of a mother she is. So she'll be like trying to feed him things that are like more nutritious. And I'm over here with like dried mango and like yummy sugary things, and so on my ride from daycare home, it's usually more mango.
Yeah. Where she's like, here is a pouch that is just pureed spinach.
Yeah.
With a hint of grapes.
Which he's okay with the pouches.
Yeah.
But like I guess the things that actually read as healthy and like seem really healthy, he can sense it from a mile away and it's like, nope.
Yeah. I feel like we do like applesauce pouches.
Oh yeah.
And like, he's like obsessed with them.
Yeah.
Or like he's a big fan of, we have like a pantry, in our kitchen, and he'll be like uppy, because he somehow combined the words uppy and please. So he says
great.
uppy, which is also adorable.
Yeah.
Sometimes your kids create words where like, you're like, in a year from now, you won't say this. So I need to remember this because it's super cute. But I'll like pick him up and open up the pantry door, and he like points to the applesauce pouches like immediately. And I'm just like, I need to put these somewhere else. But I did that once, and he cried. And I was like, well, damn it. I did kind of teach you.
We're fortunate enough that we have an enclosed pantry, like with a door that actually like latches.
Yeah.
And so like you have to open up the knob, and like he can't do that yet. Like he can reach doorknobs, but he doesn't have the strength, and his hand's not big enough to turn the knob. So like my wife just organized this pantry, which like I'm if you had me do organizing for a job, I could do it well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in my life,
completely understand the sentiment.
even with the trailer,
yeah.
Like before I've had somebody come and work on the trailer with me, I have to be like, okay, well, we're spending all day today like organizing, you know? And so like my wife is great with organization, both in her personal life and work. And so she just organized our fridge and our pantry and like did all like the clear containers and you know, like those things are not cheap.
No, they're not.
It's
an investment.
I will say this, now that we have all of ours, so don't go to the Container Store.
Okay.
Good gosh, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And you know where you can get containers if you hunt for it. You go to like the TJ Maxx,
I was going to just say TJ Maxx,
Home Goods, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My wife and I went to the Container Store back in the pandemic when everybody was doing all this organization kind of stuff. And I was like, and also I do not rule my wife.
Okay.
I can't, she doesn't really listen to like anything I say, but I like put my foot down and was like, we're not paying this much money for these containers. Yeah. Like it's just like clear plastic containers. They don't even do anything.
This was the line. You're like, I get to put my foot down at least 3 to 4 times in this marriage. This is one of them.
Yeah, not the Container Store. And I was like, can we please? And so I ended up like begging her. I was like, can we just like come back here if we can't find this stuff somewhere else? And
I'm just saying $3,000 on containers is probably not how we should spend this money. Maybe like the entire stimulus check shouldn't be on
Yeah. And so we ended up going to like all these TJ Maxx, like Marshalls, Ross, Home Goods.
Dirt cheap.
And just took all of what they had. Like we weren't even, like once we saw the prices, we were like, just put it in the cart. Put it in the cart before somebody else gets it.
Someone else is going to realize what they got going on here.
Yeah. And so like we have a lot of nice containers to do that organizing, but like she finally... like not Marie Kondo'd, but who are the gals here in Nashville? The Home Edit.
No.
Look into the Home Edit.
Okay.
Yeah. She did kind of like the Home Edit thing.
Okay.
And but not with their stuff. But hey, Nashvillians and everybody else buy their stuff because it's better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Buy local.
Buy local. I'm the same way with organization. Like if I know someone else is going to have to use it, I'll actually organize it. Yeah. If I think it's just me, oh God, good luck. Hey man, do you know where this is? Yes, in that general area. Oh, okay.
Well, and also it's like, well, what would I have done?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I would have put it in this Ziploc bag in this box because, you know, and it's like, you know, your warped reasoning behind everything, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Devin, what's this bag over here? Oh, that's clearly dry dairy powder. Like, obviously, it's just a powder of whiteness. Yeah. It's just a bag of whiteness. And it's like, no, it's clearly dry dairy powder.
Yeah, somebody was a lot more excited about that bag.
But they should be. Dry dairy powder has so many uses.
Yeah.
So you started your food truck this January. Do you call it a food truck or food trailer?
So I would say that most people call all mobile food a food truck. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of times they see the window and just don't realize that there's not like a thing that's driving it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I call it a food trailer. And I say that like I live the trailer trash life. And I want people to know that I'm blue collar and I've got a trailer and not a truck.
Yeah.
And I'm also somebody that calls...
Are you especially scared of tornadoes in your trailer?
Oh my gosh, dude. So like since January, we have had some like severe weather.
Okay.
And so the trailer has had icicles on it. I've been out there in some pretty rough conditions.
Okay.
And so I did close one day the first week that I had been open. I was like, I'm not even going to chance it because it was supposed to be like high winds and all this stuff.
And if your trailer blew over while you're in it trying to cook,
that's
like that's not so funny.
No.
That's not a good experience.
Oil everywhere and like hot things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, luckily, majority of my services are at Bearded Iris, where I can like go run into the brewery, you know?
Okay, yeah.
And so like a lot of times I'll go in there and hang out with the bartenders and guests. And then people will be like, oh man, I was about to order this. And I'm like, order it. I'll go do it.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Like, I'll go chance it for like 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been like hail and all kinds of stuff. But fortunately, no tornadoes or like super high winds. Yeah. But like my wife and I lived in East Nashville when the March 3rd tornado came through in 2020. Yeah. And so like that's always, you know, I think in like all of our minds. Yeah. But heck, like I guess that they're more, I don't know if we're just learning more about all of these acts of God or things going on, or if it's happening more often. I'm sure that it's happening more often.
I feel like it's happening more often, personally.
But I definitely know that Nashville's in Tornado Alley now.
Seems like it. To like, Floods and tornadoes, just what we're here for.
Yeah.
What made you want to quit your job to start a food truck?
My wife told me that I had to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, I don't like you being on your phone all the time, not paying attention.
And sales really does like take everything to do it well.
It's
insatiable.
I'm a workaholic in anything. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing is like, when you have your own job, then you're also like not going to get away from it probably. Yeah. But at least I get to set the rules along with her for this, whereas like there was a constant push from multiple people in the last job to, you know, have more sales. So I think that I wanted to please my customers and wanted to make sure that they were taken care of. So like if I got hit up at 9:00 at night, I was going to respond to them.
Pretty much.
But that didn't mean that I had a solution then and there. I just wanted them to know, like, hey, I'm on it. Mm-hmm. A lot of times that meant that I wasn't on it with my relationship with my wife or, like, my little boy, you know. She was just like, hey, I need you to be present. Yeah. And so I am, thanks to, like, medication now and then not having the outside sales job, like, whenever I'm off, I'm usually, like, more present, you know, and like actually intentional in spending time with them. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, it seems, I think we were talking before we started recording that like you like having set hours. You like being like, all right, bearded Iris, here's the days you got me. Cause then like, I don't know, I think most of us just spend our days hopefully being able to predict our days because I'm the same way of, if I feel like there's something I need to react to, then that's going to take priority. Yeah. So like, I mean, if someone's like, hey, can you help me out with this? I'm like, oh, cool, I need help them out with this. And it's like, but what are you doing right now? It's like, oh, I don't know. Someone needed help, and I thought I should help them because I asked for help. So I'm going to put all my energy into that now. And it's like, you're driving a car. You shouldn't have even checked your phone. Like, what are you doing? Like, so I'm with you. Yeah, someone's like, hey, can you help me in this way? And you're like, oh, yeah. But whenever you have, like, I guess set hours, honestly, we're at the age where having set hours is a boundary. Yeah. And that's a really weird thing to acknowledge is healthy for you to have, but it kind of is.
Well, and I will say that in any outside sales position, almost like if you're not dealing with like life-threatening stuff or like logistics and things along those lines, I think that you can really set some boundaries with your users, like customers, whatever, to where you're like, hey, here are the expectations, and like I'm gonna be like hard to get, you know, from this time to this time, or you're not going to be able to get me, you know? So like, I think that was like squarely on my shoulders, for me being available to folks when I was. Yeah. So I do think that having those set hours is possible. Okay. It's just, I think that I did benefit by working all the time.
Yeah. Cause you did like, I'm very big on just, as I said earlier, I analyze systems mentally in my head all the time. So, like, what were you, like, when you put in more work, were you rewarded? Yes. So you had positive reinforcement for doing more work. So unless there's a negative, like, reaction, why would you not do that?
I think she also was just like, this is a good opportunity for us to become entrepreneurs. Like, we're in a situation where we can. So let's go ahead and get after it, because like my personality is, I always want to like be ready and prepared for things. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times that leads to not necessarily procrastination, but just not acting because I don't feel that I'm ready yet.
Yeah.
And I've always heard from like almost every entrepreneur is that you've just got to jump in.
Yeah, pretty
like
much.
Just, start doing it and then figure things out and like prepare along the way or whatever. And like prepare before you get into it for sure. But like, you're just not going to do it unless you do take that step. And and so she definitely was the catalyst to like get that going.
Yeah. Justin, if he was here, he would tell you that that's who I am also.
Yeah.
Because he talked to me for like a month to be like, we need to do a podcast.
Yeah.
We need to do a podcast. And I was like, well, let me analyze it from like 30 different ways. Then it was like about the domain name. We have to do it now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I guess we should start it now. But yeah, I'm the same of like, I like being able to predict things. I don't like being caught off guard a lot of the time. And I like having answers. So it's very easy to not act because those are all unrealistic expectations to have of myself.
Yeah. So what other things do you want to know about Rabbit Food Kitchen?
Yeah,
or
man.
about
What else do you
Daniel?
do? What about Daniel? What all like do you do like a specific type of food? What's your background with cooking food?
Yeah, dude, what a great question. It's like I prepped for this.
Good. Yeah.
I did have to think. I was like, wait,
You actually,
what if they asked me
You
something?
slid a piece of paper across the table where you couldn't hear.
Yeah, here are my approved questions.
Here are the just so you know what I prep for, since we literally just said what do we prep for?
Yeah. do not touch on this and this.
Okay, yeah, we forgot
my people will not like that.
The people of Daniel and Daniel Incorporated.
Yeah. So first part of the question was like what type of food?
Yeah.
So Rabbit Food Kitchen is veg forward. I always say that it is the gateway drug to nutrition dealt from a trailer. And I think that that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
Solid jokes. Yeah.
And and it really is. It's not necessarily like super healthy food altogether because like I may throw a lot of bacon on your green salad and like typical kind of Southern stuff, but it's not like your fried chicken salad that has like hard-boiled egg and bacon and like croutons and
like blue cheese dressing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, by the way, you will have a heart attack in the middle of this, but there is lettuce.
Yeah. My wife used to serve tables and had somebody that was like, I'm going to be healthy today. And they got like one of those Southern salads like we were just talking about. And they're like, but with no lettuce. And so it was basically just like fried chicken, cornbread croutons.
You know, like how Bob Evans has like their mashed potato bowls?
Oh, wow.
It's like mashed potatoes with fried chicken with cheese and gravy on top of it. It's like, just go to Bob Evans.
Yeah.
Just don't waste your time.
Yeah,
like,
I want it swamming in the dressing. Swamming.
Actually, if you could hold the lettuce but add extra dressing, that'd be great.
Yeah. I want it to be a soup.
I want to eat the salad with a spoon.
Yeah. So yeah, but I do have like tons of veggie stuff, and I'm really trying not to use a lot of like super processed ingredients. So like even though some of the preparation may not be the healthiest way, or like I may use a good amount of salt on something or whatever, it's like usually a better decision than a lot of other food decisions like that you can get out, and so like it makes a lot of sense when I'm at farmers markets because like I can do like a tomato salad during tomato season. I'm doing like squash and gourds and things and sweet potatoes and stuff like that. Like we're eating sweet potato chips right now. Like I definitely gained some inspiration from the seasons, but like I don't have a seasonal menu. I just change things like every 2 weeks or, there's no set rule. It's just kind of like when things are going well, they'll stay on the menu unless it's something that just doesn't make sense to stay on there. Like I only do tomatoes during tomato season because that's just like one of my things. Like I'll have like sun-dried tomatoes at some point when it's not, tomato season or whatever. But like, I really do try, like right now I have a butternut squash salad that has burrata cheese and burrata cheese is like a creamy mozzarella ball. So it's a 4-ouncer that like you cut into it and like oozes out. And then has Brussels sprouts, bacon, maple vinaigrette, and some other stuff in it, like golden raisins and stuff. And I try to hit like all the textural elements, and like sometimes I'll put like hot elements, like temperature wise, into a cold salad, just because I think that's interesting too, you know. So I'd say that like a lot of it's kind of California cuisine.
Okay.
Like I got a lot of inspiration from when I was out in San Francisco, on having like quick, healthier options. So like a lot of like grain bowls and salads, and then like have a wrap on the menu. But a lot of it has Latin American elements. I grew up with like Southern food, like Southeastern food, and like all my family's from Tennessee. So, you know, like the stereotypical kind of stuff I don't like really put on the menu, but that's highly influenced me. So
does
like
that mean like collard greens and like fried
so,
okra?
Yeah,
all that,
so
all
like
fried
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, totally. But like my mom's favorite meal is instead of collards, turnip greens. We would eat turnip and mustard greens like mixed. And cooked down the same way you would with like collards or whatever. You know, some type of pork in there. And then pinto beans, which are pinto beans. You know. And then a slice of tomato. I hate that I'm forgetting some of the elements of her favorite meal, but like, you know, we would put like chow chow on the beans and stuff like that too.
Would you have a bread? Would you have like cornbread?
So
with it or something?
cornbread a lot of times. But like, I think that she was fine without that. But yeah, my dad's a big cornbread guy. And yeah, so like I grew up with all that kind of like, stuff that you would find in a soul food kind of place.
I feel like I like Sean Brock a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like he sticks true to that heritage, like brings it to life and elevates
and
it.
like
You know, all those
I
words.
didn't grow up with a garden, but my granddad had a garden my entire life. And so like whenever we'd be at his place, like we'd be like snapping beans, you know,
just walking through the garden and stuff off the vine.
And like legit would like pull a turnip out and just like, you know, rinse that off, or like he might even just like grab his rag that he'd have in his pocket or whatever, and like just, you know, kind of wipe it off, and then, and then get his like pocket knife out and cut that, you know, and like, and then I'd just be like crunching on it, loving it, you know.
That's cool.
So yeah, like I talk about in like a few Instagram posts, I think I talked about some inspiration that I got from him for some dishes and like his garden and stuff like that. And a lot of that's like usually tomato based. So I think getting back to like me being like, oh yeah, I don't want to do tomatoes when they're not in season. But yeah, so really trying to promote some like healthier options out there that are quicker, and also not really things that you've probably heard of necessarily. Like a lot of them may be like kind of similar, you know, like people always call my Japanese barbecue bowl a Korean barbecue bowl. Because like that's something that they like know about.
That familiarity, you know? So that's what they call it.
So interesting things, like just be looking at Instagram, see like what I've got, and then on my website that always updates with what I have with the menu. But as far as my culinary background goes, like I didn't go to culinary school. I've never been a proper chef in a restaurant. I was a line cook and a garbage line cook at that.
Poorly worked.
Oh my goodness. Like I was so bad at it. Like just not fast. Like couldn't remember like all the elements that go in things. Like I'm decent at prep. Like I'm not like real fast, but like I can do. I mean, nowadays it's a different story.
Oh, yeah, you've been doing it for like 11 months now. Like it's very different.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
If I'd have asked you last December, like, how efficient are you cooking? You'd be like, we'll find out.
I mean, like I'd been in the food service industry for a good while and like worked for some great restaurant groups and great chefs and stuff like that. And like my main culinary mentor is Duran Little out of Knoxville. He has Seasons restaurant in Turkey Creek, and he has another Seasons in Sevierville, and he has a few other places now. But yeah, I worked with him at Seasons when it was at a different location. It was a smaller place, but like he was doing New American Food in Knoxville, which was not really the best place to do that kind of like.
What's New American Food?
Yeah, so like I just say that
I know most buzzwords, but that one's new on me.
Yeah, like I was working there in 2007 or 8 or something like that, so like at that time, I don't even know if I knew what quinoa was back then.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I didn't know what quinoa was until I was like 27.
And like couscous and...
There's more than one type of grain?
Yeah, and like broccolini.
Oh,
I was like, is this like a typo?
Oh, you must have spelled... you don't know how to say the word broccoli.
Like just like all these things that now are in... Like we're familiar with the nomenclature, like vernacular of it, but like it's... I would just describe New American as like anything that we're familiar with but elevated.
Gotcha.
And so like also pulls in probably elements from around the globe or whatever. And it's a pretty broad term, I would say. But
sure,
like it's kind of like California cuisine type deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Duran Little, and that's where I like first was able to work in any kitchens and was terrible at it. And then I worked in the Copper Cellar Corporation. That's a top 50 restaurant chain in the nation that's just in East Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, so like they're doing business.
Cool. Yeah.
And, there I met a guy named Charles Hunter III, who is the chef. He's his self-titled chef, but started a blog named The Salted Table back years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And so like he just won U.S. Foods like Iron Fork competition this year. Yeah. And he's a private chef for a lot of well-to-do folks. So I've been able to do some work with him and learn some tricks and some fun stuff and like enjoy just our friendship of being into food together. Yeah. And then like through him had met Cody.
Sure.
Actually with White Crane and Cody Berger. So just being around all those kinds of people is really great. Like talking about your similar passion and then like sharing techniques and things along those lines. Yeah. I guess I'm not sharing any techniques, just like
I mean, it seems like you're still learning it. Like to some extent, you're like, I get the sense you know a couple of things so you know how to do. Do you consider yourself like a creative person?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, your menu, like everything you just said was like that takes some curiosity and creativity to be like, yeah, I'm going to do maple vinaigrette today. Oh, yeah. Which I feel like the average person, I've never had a maple vinaigrette before. So, and I'm a foodie.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, like I'd say that at Rabbit Food Kitchen, you're definitely going to get like things that seem like they would only be on a food truck, probably. Yeah. You know, it's like, I think that like food trucks have really been an avenue for innovation in food for a good while now. And like you see like all these people that are famous chefs now that like started their businesses on a food truck or mobile food unit, you know, like I know like Roy Choi or whatever out in LA is like one of the main ones that people point to, but you know, you get to, you get a lot more grace from customers, I think, as opposed to like a brick and mortar sit down restaurant. Yep. So like if you do something kind of crazy, then they, for some reason, are more willing to try it off of a food truck or trailer, like mobile food. And I don't think I'm really doing any crazy stuff, but like I'm doing some things that are kind of that you would find in like an upper scale restaurant that would cost a lot more if you were sitting down eating it. And so I think that that's something that a lot of people enjoy because like I had like at Fridays by the River in Shelby Park, I had somebody say that too. They were like, man, you've got like upscale food on a food truck. I'm like, hey, thanks. You know,
appreciate
like
that's a compliment.
Like I don't think that I'm like the same level as a lot of these great chefs out there or anything, but I do think that I'm trying to bring something that's in between what you're having on the norm. And then like a nicer meal, you know? Yeah.
I mean, also like the American definition of healthy food is in a lot of areas still like Panera. The difference between going to like Panera versus like Sweet Greens or something like that is a drastically different style of food and different food experience.
But yeah, I mean, like we're blessed right now in Nashville in that we're getting all kinds of highly esteemed restaurants and chefs into the city that, folks are trying food that like has been around in Chicago and New York and Atlanta and all this stuff for a long time. And, like now Nashville's ripe for the pickings. Yeah. So they're here.
That's pretty cool. And like, I know we keep on having new developments. Like, I know you said you go to Monday Night Brewing a lot. Like that area in like 5 years from now is going to be completely different. So like restaurants will take up space there. Like, and there's just,
after I drive the trailer over those railroad tracks a few more times, like the train's going to derail eventually.
Yeah,
probably.
eventually. Yeah, probably. Yeah. But yeah, like that area is like, I remember going to Bearded Iris, like whenever I only had one kid. So like 6 years ago and being like, where am I?
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh yeah, cool. Like Bearded Iris isn't even the only thing to do there anymore.
Yeah.
So,
you can walk to all kinds of places.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's kind of like Mad Max creepy right now in that like you're walking by like all these construction sites and things along those lines. And it's like, am I in I Am Legend?
You might be. Just a little bit. I got one of my tattoos. There's like a artistic space over there, and one of my tattoos was done over there.
100 Taylor.
Yes, 100 Taylor. Yes, yeah.
Who does your tattoos?
Eli Drono.
Oh, cool. I'm sure that
he's at Safe House now. He was over there for a little. He was at Safe House, went off on his own. I think now he's back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Bearded Iris is connected to 100
Oh,
Taylor.
really? Cool.
Yeah, it's all the same building.
Oh, cool.
And so a lot of my regulars come from 100 Taylor.
Cool.
Yeah.
But like that space, like you walk around in there, you're like, this is really artistic. This is really cool. Is it hygienic for me to get like what dust? Like everything's clean, right? Because like this is definitely an old warehouse building.
Yeah, that's where I got my rat tail cut.
Is it really?
Yeah, cut into a rat tail. Yeah.
Man, tell me the story of the rat tail.
Get
in touch with your roots.
So yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I lived in Augusta, Georgia for 5 years. That's where that came from.
Really?
Yeah. So my wife likes alternative men, but with like tattoos and like earrings and like eyeliner.
So she listens to The Cure a lot?
So no, but like the emo stuff. Though.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't have any of that.
That's not
so
you.
For me, it's got to be like hair.
Okay, yeah,
you know,
because you can't fake eyeliner.
And here's the thing: is like I'm not doing the hair that she would want, but I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do like a wide mohawk with a rat tail, you know. Nice. So
you don't have the swooping bangs.
Oh, I could do that.
You
I could definitely do that.
You're not gonna be. Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3.
Anytime that my hair falls down across my like one of my eyes, you know, and is kind of emo looking, she always says that I look like a Swedish DJ named Sven. You know, like Sven.
That's awesome.
But I'm brunette, so like it wouldn't.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Are there non-blonde Swedes?
People are so weird in their homes.
Oh yeah,
when nobody else is around.
Oh no, people in general are very weird people. Like I think that's one thing I learned from having kids is just like I know I'm weird. Yeah, I know most people are weird.
That comes off on them, and then they're doing it at like daycare around their friends or whatever.
And you're like, no, you're all weird too. Don't put this all on me.
Around our friends' kids, I'm like, must have learned it from them, you know.
Basically, and reality is like, no, you're a weird person.
Yeah,
you're a mirror. Kids are hilarious because as they get older, as your son has more sentences and everything, you'll realize how many obnoxious sentences you say. Like my 7-year-old today, I was like, if I'm not mistaken, and I was like, I would like look at my wife like, I know where she learned that phrase from. That's weird. I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know who that was learned from. I'm like, oh, cool. So you say that enough for your 7-year-old to repeat it.
Yeah, I think that I'm just going to learn that my vocabulary is lacking.
He says this one word a lot, and you're like, yeah, he does. He does. He's a man of few words.
A man of 4-letter words.
All positive ones, basically.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, totally. You've listened to 2 episodes, right? At least. So how we end our episodes, we ask the same 5 questions to every guest. So the first question is, what were your kid backup name What was the name you could have potentially named him?
Ooh, don't steal this, people, because we are trend setters.
I could have already told you that.
So his name is Porter Knox.
Okay.
And
is he going to be a country singer star from like the 70s?
Yeah.
Because he sounds like he could be.
Yeah. Or, yeah. I mean, like Porter Wagner is definitely somebody that, like, you know, we're from Knoxville area, so we're big Dolly fans. Yeah. So, you know, big influence on Dolly. But we have a lot of different names, and so like I think that we've got some in the arsenal for future kids.
Ooh, okay,
right. So I'm trying to think of what. So like I used to like some Bible names and stuff. I always liked Gideon, but I don't think Heather was like much of a fan of that.
Yeah.
But like we were pretty set on Knox because like that's just like where we're from, the Knoxville area. But yeah, liked Gideon. I think that we might end up doing like a shepherd at some point.
Okay.
You know, like I like the idea of like trade names. So like a porter, a shepherd, like things along those lines. But that's not our little girl's not gonna be a trade name. It's Hazel.
Okay. Cool.
So
that's cool.
But like I think that also I'm kind of looking for like old school names. That's something that a lot of people have been doing for a while.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in that vein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question. Who is your favorite TV dad?
So I think that I've heard some other people say this one. I'm a big Phil Dunphy fan.
Yeah. That was Cody Burgers.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. But like he's so positive.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to be a dork.
No.
But also like he's such an epitome of a dad in that like he is a dork and doesn't know it a lot of times.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's definitely going to be me at some points. But like I'm not a Phil Dunphy because like I'm actually negative a lot of times and not like
there's no silver lining with you.
Yeah. But like Phil, he's just like, man, who wouldn't want to be around him, you know? And like I feel like I was the Phil Dunphy around my father-in-law when my father-in-law was around, because like he was this electrician and like contractor that was the head of maintenance over a nuclear facility. And so like he had all this breadth of like blue collar knowledge and everything. And so like for Thanksgiving or something, like they had a leak in their roof and he was like, well, I'm going to fix it, you know, like right away. Whereas like me, I'd be like, I don't know how to do it.
Videos.
Yeah. And also like, I don't know if I'd do it. Like I might get somebody else to do it. But I was like, can I go up on the roof with you? You know?
Yeah.
And I just like feel like Phil Dunphy'd that for sure. I was like, hey, can I be part of this?
Yeah.
You know?
I just want to be here and like learn from you because like you know a lot and I don't. So
yeah, but like he was great. And like we were able to bond through a lot of stuff like that. But I think that early on with me being around, it was kind of like, am I annoying? You know?
Yeah.
And I definitely think that my mother-in-law felt that way a lot more than my father-in-law did.
Yeah.
Because she's also like, let's get stuff done, you know, and like, I'm kind of just in the way.
Oh no. It was like, oh, you want to in this drawer. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. The one I'm standing in front of. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Phil Dunphy. And then, we really liked the show Parenthood. Did you ever watch that show?
Oh yes.
It was, like a big family.
Jason Adams once. Yeah.
That was based out in Berkeley. And so like we were out in the Bay Area when we were watching it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of like real life kind of situations.
Oh yeah. No, you cry at the end of pretty much every episode.
Yeah. Not as much as,
This Is Us.
Yeah. Not as much
This
as
Is Us is just like torture, emotional. Like, hey, you're going to weep within 3 minutes.
Yeah. All you emo people.
Yeah, basically. They're called emotions. Have you met them yet?
No, obviously not. But yeah, I'll just go with Phil.
Next question. Do you have a least favorite kids show or movie? Like whenever your son puts it on, you're just like, please turn this off.
Yes. So originally when I was listening to this, I was like, man, I actually kind of enjoy a lot of this stuff.
Some of them are kind of
fun. But I really don't like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse,
Yes.
Fun House. It's like
the whole branch.
I just voiced to my wife, I was like, I mean, like, I don't even think this is educational at all. And he's like,
no.
But she was like, but they do count. They do learn like certain tools and stuff. You know, for whenever Toodles comes out, you got to like choose which.
Yeah, there's
tool
interactive elements
or whatever.
to it.
Yeah, but like, it seems kind of like Coco Melon in that it's like overstimulating.
Yeah.
You know. But like with Coco Melon, at least he's like learning lyrics, and legitimately he goes and gets his little guitar and has to play along with everything.
Oh, really?
You know? Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like he does that with like Miss Rachel and all kinds of stuff where they're singing, and like he memorizes lyrics, you know, and like
that's really sweet.
He like wakes up singing. The guy is meant to be in Nashville for sure. Cool. So, but yeah, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Funhouse are so stupid. Love the old school Mickey Mouse stuff, but like I don't think that would keep his attention probably.
I think whenever the girls want to watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, I'm like, I'm gonna play Sudoku.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what to do.
I typically try to suggest shows that I would like to have on.
Just veer.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, you want to watch Bear in the Big Blue House? You know, like that's a great one.
It is. It's a great one.
And I'm like, you want to watch Daniel Tiger?
Yeah.
You know,
Daniel Tiger's super sweet.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Rogers, right?
Yeah, it is. It's that's the one where if like the kids seem like they've had a rough day, and we're like, all right, let's put on a TV show. We're like, it has to be Daniel Tiger though.
Yeah,
like because it's gonna be calm and it's gonna be reassuring.
Yeah,
and not just like chaos for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite kids toy? Like whenever your son plays with it, you enjoy playing with it also.
What do we enjoy? I mean, like he's huge into instruments.
That's really fun. Yeah.
So like he has all the like Montessori like percussive instruments. They're like wooden but have like bells and a tambourine. And
like little like hands, like finger cymbals and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then he also has like a little drum type deal. And so like in Nashville, if anybody asks me, I do not play any instruments, right?
Do you actually not play any instruments?
But in a lot of other cities, I'm like, yeah, man, I play guitar.
Yeah, I don't tell people I play guitar.
No,
because it's like, I went to Belmont, so people will be like, oh, so what band are we forming? And you're like, no, I just told you I know what a chord is. Well, that's not the same thing.
What's rough is whenever somebody's like, let's jam, or like, let's, like, here, grab your guitar or bass or whatever. And so, like, I have a bass and, like, guitars and harmonicas and stuff. Yeah. And I love to, like, noodle around and play. Yeah. But, like, man, not with folks that really know what they're doing.
not with people where they're like, by the way, when do we write our hit song? And you're like, oh, I was just seeing if we could play in time with each other. That's
I'm like, I can't even play in time with myself.
Yeah, so maybe we should temper these expectations.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd say that we're finally at the point where he's like throwing a ball and catching a ball.
That's really cool.
And that's pretty neat. And I'm not like your classic dad. It's like, oh my gosh, we gotta like get you to learn how to use a baseball and baseball mitt and whatever. Like maybe eventually, but just like doing anything athletic kind of stuff together, because like he has so much energy. Yeah. So I'd say like those kinds of toys where it's either like an instrument or a ball or whatever, like working on his like motor skills.
I find it hilarious that like having a son and wanting just to kick a ball with him, it does bring like the most joy I've ever seen in my life. Just a kid throwing something and being like, yeah, like my son literally, when he sees a car, just screams go-go's.
Oh yeah.
Like he's like, go-go's, go-go's, daddy. Yeah. And it's like, I'm literally like, if we go to Shelby Bottoms and the train, like he hears the train whistle, he like sprints to the bench and we don't leave until he sees something going across that bridge.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, what about like, all the trucks and like the sand and like literally anything but this bench? And he's just like, go-go's.
Yeah.
Go-go's. And I'm like, most stereotypical boy thing ever, but it's really cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Final question. What moment of your kid's life are you most excited to be a part of?
So my parents have actually told my brother and myself a lot that they enjoy spending time with us as adults.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like they loved us like growing up and everything. And like, I think that seeing a child learn like as a toddler is very, I mean, like, it's an experience where you're just seeing like light go into their eyes, or like the light bulb go off, and it's like a revelatory experience. Like it's so cute to just see them. Like whether it's a go-go or it's a truck or whatever, and like them tying like a sound to that and being excited about it. That is really incredible.
It's really precious.
And I really enjoy like the infant stage too, just being able to cuddle with them and stuff. But like the first time that our little boy like reacted to us like singing his like goodnight song to him or whatever. That was like one that my wife and I will remember forever.
That's cool.
know? And so like that was great. But yeah, I definitely think like whenever he's becoming like more of an adult, like, past the age of 21, we can like share a drink together and like good meals and some good conversation. I think that could be pretty neat. Just see like who they become.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that time of life also. Because I'm just like, who are you? Like, what have you become? Like, what are your passions? What are your energies? And like, is it like, are you going to achieve them? Do you want to achieve them? Like, there's so much, I think it's a lot easier to see the depth of your child whenever they're in their 20s versus whenever go-go's are the only thing on their mind.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I always feel like I'm like, I just want to be included. So I hope whenever you're an adult, you just still want to talk to me.
Yeah, totally. And like, I think that's something that's real neat, being around your parents whenever you're a parent as well.
Yeah.
And just seeing them either admire what you're doing or being like happy that they were part of all of it, and just like spending time together to see who you've become, and like it's like it, went full course, right?
Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool. Well, if there's an opportunity to promote yourself, if people want to follow you on Instagram and everything, what's your Instagram handle? All that good stuff.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Yeah. Rabbitfood.kitchen. So rabbitfood.kitchen is Instagram. We are on Facebook, but like it's Rabbit Food on there, I think. And
I think we technically have a Facebook also. And, more so someone else doesn't have it.
Yeah. TikTok, I think I'm Rabbit Food Kitchen.
Do you do much on TikTok?
No.
That's how I know I'm in my mid-30s also.
I need to get on there. And mostly look at Google and the Google reviews.
Okay.
And like I'm going to say that until I get a review that's not a 5-star.
Oh, okay.
But, we're doing pretty well on Google, so check that out. Check the pictures out. And then that's linked to the website to where you can order on there if you want to order ahead.
Yeah.
And then check my schedule on the Instagram highlight that is schedule.
Okay.
And like I'll publish that typically on Sundays or Mondays. Because like usually I am at Bearded Iris Monday through Thursday from 12 to 1:30, and then like longer on some days. But opportunities happen where I'm able to like go be part of a market or whatever. Yeah. And so those things will come up like week to week sometimes.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, Daniel, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks again for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Nashville Dads and to subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify podcast. We record at New Light Podcast Studio and episodes are produced by me, Devin.